Hello, this is Solomon. We are going to be looking over 5 tournament replays. These ones are actually from a couple weeks ago. And I watched them then, but I didn't feel like making a video. But Crumpets really wanted me to make a video on them, so here I am. That's just some interesting Ruse theory and concepts I can talk about. Okay, so we have Aquila and Seoul versus SuperCrumpets in Quebec. Uh, Italy, UK mirror. Just very interesting. As I've been watching all the tournaments of the 2v2 tournaments that have been happening recently, Italy seems to be a go-to. They're really, really strong. I mean, in a vacuum, they're very awkward and have a lot of weaknesses and vulnerabilities. And Italy has like zero synergy with any other units. They only like M15s don't mesh well with other units. Like you either make an M15 blob or not, and well, all the AT is just garbage. And it's just very awkward. But they're very strong because of the M15 and barracks potential, their openings, and their air transition. If no one starts air on whatever map. So here we are, Odyssey. In an air battle, you start advanced fighters 99% of the time. That banana system seemed unnecessary. I would rather this would have been better. People fake units. I do not like fake units. I have tried using them before, but I still don't think it's worth it most of the time. Or any of the time, really. That's just my personal opinion. I just don't like using them. Okay, so I've been doing some basic Ruse theory lately, and I've been trying to think about the game, and so I've come to the conclusion, or the best way to say is, in Ruse there are two types of continuation, the match continuing. Those types are transitional continuation and non-transitional continuation. Transitional continuation is doing train strategies, what you're doing. Like you get out of Proto Base instead, start building different units, or start building a bomber fleet or something instead of a ground force. Just switching up the strategy of what you're doing. A non-transitional continuation is non-transitioning. You're doing the same thing. In this, in both, well, I'd say transitional continuations are more common, although non-transitional continuations is where all matches usually end up at. Like at the end of the game, you're usually just building super heavies, although sometimes you switch to bombers. And of course, there's always heavy artillery spam. But earlier in the game, it can also happen. This is one such situation where it's UK Italy mirror. And the reason it's non-transitional because each side is only building M15s and Spitfires for the most part. And this is the optimal move right now instead of making something like your Proto Base and KLP-26 or fighter bombers or something. Because given how small this map is, and given how fast M15s are, especially with Blitz, any sort of transition will create a window of opportunity that can be exploited. Like a prototype base is 8 M15s. The instant the enemy sees that goes down, they're just going to charge forward and win because they're going to have 8 more M15s. Now, of course, you have camo here, but someone who's particularly observant will know there's no radio silence, so they'll still notice the lack of units being built, since from both teams there's a constant stream of M15s. So they will notice if that stream of M15s has stopped. And with the air, I mean, there's no AA on the field. Like, if you have less Spitfires, you're going to lose. Then you're just going to lose the air games. This is going to keep on snowballing each engagement, since you're going to lose more fighters each engagement after you lose one engagement. And an enemy can keep forcing engagements. And the reason there isn't any AA is because AA is kind of weak in general. But particularly in this match, is because Italian AA is the basic AA is 15 supply, which is way too expensive. It's like spending 10 supply on a heavy infantry unit. Like it has a use. The type of unit has a use, but it's so prohibitively not cost effective that you can never build it. Like build four like every AA piece you build will be one less M15. So build four AA pieces, you just can't lose M15 blob battle since you have four less M15s. Or look at strafe to death maybe, or it's not effective enough. It's too much supply spent on something that doesn't do enough damage. And you can't build a proto base for the reason I said. Also, the issue of AA is that then your air fleet is restricted to hovering over your AA. If you want to use the AA to your advantage, which is really not awesome since AA is strong because of its mobility. You can't build AT because AT isn't mobile enough. If you build AT, you're forced to stay on the defensive almost, or wait 5 minutes to get across the map. Like your M15s have to operate within range of your AT. So, like if you're like in the middle, and your enemy sends some units around, it's gonna be very flawed. Like you can't respond to it. I mean, you can. Maybe you'll end up with like 2 stacks of M15s per player, but it's still really awkward. Basically, the thing is here is mobility, and also the money spent on the other buildings. Like an AT base is 40 for Italy. Artillery and anti-air base is 45 for some reason. Roller base is 120. But this is the optimal state right now. Since any sort of transitional continuation will result in a window of opportunity that the enemy can and will exploit. So the only option really is a non-transitional continuation. They really like their fake assaults. It's a waste of ruses. Like, this team has so much more ruses. Now they have superior economy. They have that extra depot. There's a Wellington. And since they have superior economy, they can afford to build a Wellington and Anson without necessarily going behind an air. Oh shit. Okay, let's finish talking about air first. Also, even when there's this many planes, if you only build 2 other planes like this, you can get away with it usually if you play defensively. Like if you have equal economy, because if you fire near your airfields, then your reinforcing aircraft will get there faster than enemies, and that'll make up for the difference in airplanes. So I'm assuming this was camouflaged. Yeah, it had to be. That was very clever. Damn. Pretty funny. If only they had Blitz or something to speed this up. Huh. But I wonder if it tipped Crumpets off. The Trex can't spot, right? Or maybe did he like manage to guesstimate the number of enemy aircraft and saw something didn't add up? Huh. Oh, so just camouflage. Okay, camouflage is fine. The Vickers. And obviously you don't capture the airfield, so the returning aircraft can get destroyed. That's really basic. But yeah, UK airfields are cheap enough, plus they have... Oh shit. My bad. Uh, oh yeah. Well, so they won the engagement over here somehow. Whoops. Big whoops. Hmm. Well, I'm just gonna assume Crumpets macroed better and did more focus firing or something, or that Quebec did focus firing and Aquila didn't. You probably missed that. Yeah, as you can see, 300 more income for team one, or the for whatever team they were. Same matchup. Italy, UK mirror again. Think you guess what happens? So the reason the players are doing M15 instead of infantry AT or something is because if someone builds AT, it's gonna be very, very, very difficult to get the AT in the right place at the right time. Like this splits the M15s like to this base or through the middle or through this flank. Like you're not gonna be able to pivot, and then like you can't move all your AT. If there's like 7 M15s coming this way, sure you can spread out your AT like 2 here, 2 in the middle, 2 on the right, 2 on the left. Like it's 2 AT is not gonna do anything. It's 7 M15s, so that's why M15s keep getting built instead of say AT, because it's still really probably isn't gonna work. It's M15s. So M15s are the optimal decision. Camels from the enemy team. Okay. Again, the same. This is happening for the same reason. Any sort of transition will create a window of opportunity that the enemy can exploit on the ground or in the air, due to this, how small the map is and the speed of M15s. And the window of opportunity for a transition. Okay, let me think about how I want to phrase this. So whenever someone is transitioning, like they have to spend the money on the building to transition. So that takes a little bit of time to get the building out while the truck is traveling. Then there's the time spent teching, potential maybe. Then there's the time and money spent actually building the units. So if someone built a proto base and it went out, that would be 8 M15s. And you can build M15s really quick. So the 8 M15s will be here right away. And again, Quebec will notice the lack of M15s from the enemy, so they will know that they're doing something. So he'll go forward, or at least get recon out. Then he'll charge. And there isn't enough time to build the P26, at least not more than one. And you will lose. And so the window of opportunity is the time it takes for a transition to take effect. In a time that the money and time spent on that transition leaves a person vulnerable because the transition hasn't taken effect. Those units haven't started being built. The force composition hasn't started being modified by additional new units. Now, the other type of window of opportunity is when you have the initiative and transition. And I talked about this in the description of my Brother Orcon video. If both players want to do a transition, Due to like if it's not a mirror situation with mirror units, it's still like a developing situation where there's better stuff you can do. And like in this sort of deadlock right here. If you have the initiative and continuation, you start your transition first, you complete it, then you have a superior or force composition to the enemy. So then the enemy has to transition to a force comp that is either equal or superior to yours. And while you have that superior force composition, you attack while the enemy is doing their transition. Like, go look at my Bread of Orcon video. I talk about it in the description. And there's also a replay example of it. Although I don't really go in depth talking about the Windows opportunity and transition during the video, it's mostly in the description. In either case, the window of opportunity is created when someone is transitioning, unless they're just like overwhelmingly winning. They still have a superior force either way. Radio silence is interesting. Get the free depot kill. So that could happen because the red team had a bunch of M15s split off over here. So there's a local superiority in M15s right here. So if he took the fight, he would lose since he has some M15 split off. Hurricanes get some snipes off. The battle over there that Crumpets doesn't win. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, so here's the problem. All of Quebec's units are getting in position faster, while who's this? Yuki has they're going through kind of a choke point, so their forces are coming in a lot more staggered. Like he only has like a fifth of his force firing right now, while Quebec has like 40%. I don't know. Okay, now he has pretty much all of it firing, while Yuki only has half of it firing or so. Like, yeah, like these units aren't firing in the back. Also, I think Quebec is focus firing by the looks of it. I'm not sure though. Maybe it's just AI targeting. But yeah, that happens. Oh, Grant surrenders. Honestly, I would have forced an air engagement right there, so all his planes start landing at the airfields. You can kill all the Spitfires, but it doesn't matter either way. Now he can kill the Spitfires if he wants. Or he has the Crumpets actually has that Spitfires. And they both have no money, so yeah, that happens. Oh, they got more money throughout the course of the match. And a victory. Who do we look at now? This one, I suppose. Product of the Gods. It's a Honestly, I wish the lighting was better on Twilight. Twilight of the Gods is just dark, and the map is. I don't like it that much. Soviet UK mirror. If this was anyone else but Soviets, I would have attacked. Like, if there was only one, even two barracks, I would have attacked right then. Because it'll take too long to make new units, but it's Soviets, so they can make a Gordia every, like, third of a second. But it feels like Germany or US, where it's like 5 seconds for one barracks or 2.5 seconds for every infantry on two barracks, I would have attacked. Since there was an inferiority in infantry right there. Since he spent the money on a recon unit. Plus the strafing is happening too. Did it be? Oh no, the B11's still alive. Okay. A's coming out. Seoul has Wellingtons. It's a nice bombing runoff. But Crumpets gets a ton of surprise attacks and manages to keep from losing the forest. Building A, but someone's getting strafed to death, which is really not good. This barracks is lost. Enemy team takes a steeple right here. Very dangerous situation. Crumpets and Quebec are obviously on the back foot here. Now they have inferior economy, they have less planes. I think they have less planes. Here come the Lancasters, which are faster than Wellingtons. Now they lose control of the city entirely. Yeah, they're just bleeding so many losses. They're just slowly losing the infantry engagement. They're losing more infantry than enemy, basically. And probably more planes, but I'm not entirely sure on that one. Yeah, enemy team, they just have a map control on the flanks and they're just getting on the depots. There's another bombing run. 3 airfields gone, that's a lot. I might be wrong about this, but I think you could have microed that air engagement better. I would have sending in one bomber is fine, but I would have delayed one of the bombers to start hitting the bomb the airfield when the planes are landing that got damaged. When the enemy planes that got damaged are landing on the airfield, so you get the airplane kills too. Although, of course, it's possible to micro planes away, but that'd still be really difficult when you're right on top of the airfield. Is the issues coming out? Now tanks are coming out. I don't know why this didn't go straight IS-2. That would be much superior. T-26s and T-34s. Yeah, there's just a really large deficient economy in ground units. That was a draw, but oh wow, 30 more seconds and they would have lost. Yeah, draw. Score doesn't exceed 10% enemy score. The red team got 500 more income. Now the question is what went wrong during that match, since I would say Crumpets in Quebec were in a superior position, not entirely superior, but Quebec started with 2 hurricanes, which she believes in doing, and I definitely agree it can work, but I'm not sure if it was a good call that game, or if it worked out really. I know they got damaged, but there's also the fact that Crumpets was building A. He spent a lot of money on AA, while the enemy Soviets spent all their money on ground. Now the AA definitely got kills, but I'm not sure if the AA was worth it either. Especially since it cost him the city, since he spent money on AA and not infantry, so they lost control of the city. And later he was building Z issues instead of tanks, so although by that point the enemy team just had more economy, so they could afford more planes, so they didn't need AA anyway for the Air Force. A lot of times, if you're building AA, it means you're basically forced right here to be defensive. It has to be defensive to get the advantage of the AA pieces. I mean, which you always want AA sooner or later, generally. Well, depending on how long the match is, but AA can definitely be a weakness. And how it forces your air to play. Or at least encourages your air to play. Or it's a sign that you're losing the air battle, so you need AA to compensate by getting both players to put money into units that affect the air game. Soviet France Mare. Maginot AT artillery base. AT artillery from Quebec. Okay, I already know what's happening, so I'm just going to play it slower for people who just want to absorb more of the info. Like, there's a very clear reason they're losing. Yeah, y'all can go watch it if you don't know and see if you can figure it out. Pretty standard openings, although red team is obviously superior. Except for the Maginot bunker, I disagree with that. Bunkers are better on this map, but bunkers are still like garbage in my opinion, so. French armor base comes out. I mean, the game's already over, so. If you don't know, here's why they lost. Quebec and SuperCrumpets went 4 depots, 2 depots each, and every team went 1 depot each. So they had more initial start. They had 40 more initial starting money per player, so 80 total more. 4 light artillery. That's 8 heavy infantry. So yeah, they basically the enemy team had 80 more money basically. So I did 1. I don't think you should have bothered spending on the Magano. They already had more starting money. Spending on a Magano is really weird. Because you want to be attacking if you have inferior economy. And you have more, and you do less depots for a rush early. So why build the Magano? The Magano's not going to help you push. You're going to have more money for more units anyway. But the Magano's not doing anything. It's 40 wasted money. You should have built 4 more light artillery. It's still 1 though because of the superiority in heavy infantry. That is it. Oh wait, no, this game too. Median Field of Honor. It is a barracks. Light artillery's coming out, which is a Magano's waste of money, per the usual. On this map, people, I don't know why people don't do this. Like it's kind of really annoying actually. Just you build B1 piss in AT. Maybe saw 40. Then you win. Or at least it's better than whatever hell these players keep doing. I have no idea why this came out. Yeah, so Quebec does his now infamous air transition as Italy. And they also have 6 depots to 5 depots right here. See, now the armor doesn't do anything. The AT is just gonna get strafed. The Olympus will still kill M15. And no, super kill heavy infantry too, so. Now here's where Soul decides to suicide. He builds artillery and anti-air base and 4 A pieces, so 60 supply. That is the equivalent to 12 infantry. The enemy team now has 12 infantry. That's a lot more infantry. And they also have air. AA is just gonna get strafed, although at least France is building air, which is correct. Or actually, let me think. No, I think in this situation, it's good to have some infantry, but I think building B1 BIS too. Like, build B1 BIS to cover the choke point and have Soviets go air is superior, in my opinion. Instead of Soviet AA and French air. And so at least you get the Yaks. Yeah, like Yaks are just 25 cheaper to upgrade to than the French advanced fighters. Soviet Airfield is 5 supply cheaper, which can matter. And France already has the AA base up too. Yeah, no, Soviet should have gone here. And France should have gone tanks and AA. If this was me playing as France, like this do tanks and AT right away and just start pushing for the enemy base since it's gonna be hard to stop that. I mean it's possible, but definitely gonna be difficult. Then we have to recon play in the spots all this anyway. Then we have the M15s coming too. AT guns are slow. Killing the barracks is a little bit funny. I guess that was that had to been unintentional. Yeah, there is shovel issues as I pointed out across the course of the video, but yeah. Building the artillery base in AA, the Soviets doing that was just an automatic loss, especially since there's a barracks right here. And Quebec Crumpets did the correct thing, which was doing infantry attacks, since now the enemy doesn't have money in anti-infantry. They have in AA pieces. But yeah. And that is the end of this video.